What's going on, everybody? Y'all, Rick's coming to you live with another video. I got another video for y'all, man. Y'all gotta bear with me, man. Like I'm telling you, like you gotta bear with me. When I talk, a lot of times I be so far ahead of myself. Like I be speaking towards the future, and a lot of times I'm not gonna act like I'm not wrong, like 'cause I know I be wrong a lot too. So I'm not perfect, but a lot of times I just be speaking into like to the future. Like it's a lot of stuff that like people call me crazy. Like years ago, I had predicted LeBron would go back to Cleveland, and my dad he'd tell you like my dad. I gotta get my dad up here one day, and he'd tell you like he used to always say, LeBron ain't going back to Cleveland. He gonna be in Miami, blah blah blah. Like he used to tell me this. Like everybody used to call me crazy. I promise you, they used to call me crazy. And it's the same thing they said when I predicted that Kevin Durant would join the Warriors. So like y'all just bear with me, man. Like I promise you, I'll be speaking to the future, and a lot of stuff that I say, you will see it come to fruition. Um, what I want to talk about is be like Mike or be like Steph. You know, for a young up and coming player, who would you rather be like? A lot of these young guys never got to see Michael Jordan play. Steph Curry is the guy now. Like he's just the guy. Everybody wants to be like Steph Curry. It's almost impossible to try to be like LeBron James because LeBron's like 6'8", 250 pounds. So like being like Steph is just like the guy now. To be like he can shoot from way out. He can shoot from anywhere on the floor. His handles is just amazing. He's about 6'1" really with no shoes on, but he's probably like 6'2", 6'3" with shoes on it. He's a great basketball player. I don't want to say, the difference between, what I like about, I'm going to tell you what I like about Steph Curry opposed to a lot of other players. Steph Curry is trying to create his own lane. And you can't do nothing but respect it. You see where, Kobe Bryant said, Kobe Bryant just emulated Michael Jordan. Like he just wanted to be like MJ. Everything that MJ did, he just pretty much copied it and, copied and paste. And, MJ wasn't the only player that Kobe studied. But at the same time, you could see where Kobe was just a student of the game, and a lot of his moves, you seen him working with Hakeem Olajuwon and other basketball greats, and you see him do different moves. At with certain plays he'd do like the Kareem skyhook at times, and you could tell he's a historian of the game and he loved basketball. But the most important player, you could tell that Michael Jordan played a huge role in Kobe Bryant's career. He just wanted to be like Mike. Same thing with LeBron. You see him got the same number as Michael Jordan, and it's just he wanted to be like Michael Jordan as well. So a lot of guys just want to be like Mike. Allen Iverson said it, like he wanted to be like Mike. A lot of people. But Steph Curry, on the other hand, and you can see like Russell Westbrook, his attitude of Michael Jordan. With Steph Curry, the approach it's going to be hard for players to surpass Michael Jordan in terms of like marketing and other things like that. My personal opinion, I never felt like Michael Jordan was the greatest. That's just my opinion. But it's going to be hard for especially players to surpass that because Michael Jordan he came along, and it has never been a player that like been put on the market like that, just forced in front of your face and just had shoes that people loved, that commercials, and he just did it. He was the first one that did it, and was on another level. And he did things different, like as far as like sticking his tongue out, Air Jordan, and it was just different. Like people felt like, oh, he could fly, and he just seemed like something like out of this world. Michael Jordan he had a glow about him. With Steph Curry, it's like the same thing. With Steph Curry has the glow. He's created his own lane, like the first player to ever, he's the greatest free throw shooter of all time. Probably go down as the greatest 3-point shooter of all time. And, he NBA steals leader, the first unanimous MVP. So he's creating his own lane. So I think a lot of players would want to be like Steph because he's creating his own lane. So what players would want to do would what should want to do is take a piece of that and create their own name. Be yourself, instead of trying to have the same number as Michael Jordan or copy the same type of moves. Like Steph moves he does he does a lot of things different, So, my honest opinion, I feel like Steph deserves the MVP this year, and the reason I say that, it's hard for Russell Westbrook to even get All Star, like to start in the All Star game, and people just love Steph Curry. That's why he started. With Steph Curry, like he's the engine of that Warriors team. If Steph Curry doesn't play well, that team's just not going to have it. Like they're just not going to come with it. And people can say what they want. They say, "Oh, you remove Steph, and they're going to play good. They're going to win games. They'll win a few games, but they're not going to keep winning like that." It's the reason why Steph Curry was the MVP for the past 2 years. He is the engine and driving force of that team. When he said we need to set more pick and rolls, what they do? They start setting more pick and rolls, and they start to win against elite teams. They said we need to make Steph Curry. He pretty much felt like he should have the ball in his hands. That's pretty much what he said. He should have the ball in his hands more. And what happened? Once he became the primary focus, the team started to win against elite teams again. You could tell that KD was pretty much more of the focus in the beginning of the year. And they kind of got away from what made them successful. But now that the ball is in Steph Curry's hand and he's more aggressive and he's the primary focus, it make you, okay, we need to stay on Steph and then KD. That leaves KD open for a lot of shots and Clay, open for a lot of shots. And as you can see, as I said that Klay Thompson needs to know his role. Klay Thompson isn't like taking as many shots. He's not like in the beginning of the year he was taking way more shots than he was now. But Steph Curry, I don't like his shoes. I don't like it at all. I just don't like his shoes. Michael Jordan does have that advantage. Like I said, I think players should want to be more like Steph Curry, later on in his career. People always say, oh, well, I seen like Colin Cowherd say something like, oh, when he loses his shooting, then what else is he going to rely on? He's a great passer. He's a great passer. They don't talk about him driving to the lane. They don't talk about it as much because he's so known for his shooting ability. So they ignore the other things that he could do. Like he's a really great defender, but people don't talk about that because his shooting, he's just glorified. Like people automatically put you in a box in this world, So like just imagine if they put Jordan, call Jordan a dunker, he would have been put in the box, but Steph Curry just glorified for his shooting, But he's a great player. But I think a lot of people should want to be like Steph, two-time MVP. There's no player in NBA history who has ever had a unanimous MVP, and I think that would make him ahead a lot. Will put him ahead a lot in my eyes, And I think that he could go down as, if not one of the best, like the greatest player of all time. I think there's a lot of areas in his game that he has to improve. But I think if he could pick up an MVP in a championship this year, because I feel like James Harden, I feel like they're going to start losing at the All-Star break. And a lot of people don't give James Harden that credit. I mean, it's just that he doesn't have a team, and people really don't, his fan base isn't like the level of a Steph Curry because he doesn't do anything that is different, or it's just something about James Harden that people aren't connecting with. Like Steph Curry is just a small guy, he's very nice to the media, it has a lot to do with politics. It does, man. And he's just a phenomenal player. I personally think he's the MVP. He's still putting up great numbers on that team, and he's the valuable piece to that Warriors team. The valuable piece to that Warriors team. He's proved that he could win without Kevin Durant. So, I mean, that's just my opinion. I feel like Steph Curry should be the MVP this year. And the MVP race to me should be a little bit different. I would put Steph, Kevin Durant, and then Isaiah Thomas, because I feel like those three players are really putting their teams in the position to win. and they're doing whatever they got to do. And Steph Curry's his IQ is high on the court. He's saying, "Hey, be here." If people don't pay attention to little nuances like that, he's saying, "Hey, set the screen here, right here," like pointing right here and be like, "Be right here, here, move around, moving out the ball," and he's like directed traffic, and it's amazing. Like it's a lot of things that people don't talk about as far as like Steph Curry, and like I said, he's just doing things. He's creating his own lane. Like he's creating his own records and doing things like the things that Jordan was doing. A lot of people, you know, done before. He was breaking records, and like I said, Steph Curry. I want to see him have a high scoring game, like a 60-point or 70-point game. Like I want to see him do a lot of things, a lot more crazy, to solidify, his legacy and put himself in like that ultimate legend status. I personally don't like his shoes. Like that's just my opinion. But hey, I guess it's what he does on the court, and I think that Michael Jordan is a great player. By the time I think Michael Jordan didn't win his first MVP until I think he was 27. That's when he won his first MVP, and then he was 28 when he won his. So I think Steph was 26 when he got his, and then at 27 he had got his second one. So he's 28 now. So he won't be 29 until later next year. So he was already 2 MVPs ahead of Michael Jordan, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. And his percentage from the field and from 3-point range, everything was just statistically better than Michael Jordan, man. So I think players should want to be more like Steph than being like Michael Jordan. I guess Klay Thompson was, Steph Curry's Pippen in a way. And Draymond Green was his, Dennis Rodman. So Steve Kerr could be like Phil Jackson, So, and then, they added KD. So he won without KD. So, and it's still his team, really. And he's the face of that team. So like I said, man, make sure y'all click that subscribe button, man, and leave y'all comments below. Let me know what y'all think, Steph or MJ.